make gold better. You're not going to put gold on 1 billion iPhones. Whereas Lightning is a protocol that's been rolling out lately. Square Cash App or blocked Cash App put Lightning right into Cash App. It means that you can send $100 of Bitcoin to anybody in the world on a Saturday afternoon for less than a penny, instantly, peer to peer.
Before we get to that, though, I want to make sure that we humanize this for people that aren't as familiar with a lot of this. So, one part of the appeal of Bitcoin is also its volatility, which I've heard you speak about. But I think we have to build a few bricks before we get to that. So, I've been going on a journey myself of really understanding investing and understanding what this all means. And so, I get to I really am the sort of ignorant guy, but smart enough to figure it out, that's been going through this in real time with people. So I want to go back. So the first thing we do is we start lowering interest rates. Now I want to understand why they're doing that. I have a thesis. Let me know if this is actually accurate. The reason that they lower interest rates is they're trying to goose the economy by making money cheaper so that entrepreneurs and other people will go and take that money, or people that want to build a house, whatever. They can get cheap money. They can do something that creates activity in the economy. So whether you're buying lumber to build the house or you're, taking on debt to grow your business, but you're doing things. Is that accurate? That's why they're lowering the interest rate, is to try to get activity?
They're trying to use monetary policy to counteract the negative impact of fiscal and foreign policy and domestic policy.
But what is the negative impact? Is it people just pulling back and not spending money? It's going to be important to get where I think we need to go. It's going to be important to understand why this stuff happens.
When a government declares a war, they basically put public policy initiatives ahead of the interest of the free market. Right. So if I declare a war, I could just draft every single adult in the country, put them in the military, send them off. And if I lose the war, they're all dead. Right. What's it do to the economy? The economy crashes. Right. What's it do to the prices? Well, price of everything go up. If you want to create inflation, you do it a couple of ways. Either you cut the supply, or you cut the supply of the product you want to buy, or you increase the supply of the money that's available to buy it with. So if I make it illegal to manufacture food, the price of food's going up. Right? I don't even need to print more money. Right? I can create inflation just in a war, like in World War II. We have gas rationing. You have food coupons. Why? Because all the gasoline gets shipped off to Europe to put in tanks or to put in airplanes or put in ships. So when you have policies that are declaring a war on something, you divert resources. So we had a war on COVID. We have a war on carbon, an energy war. If I decide I don't want you to burn coal or oil, then I drive up the price of energy. If I decide I don't want you to show up in your office, I drive up the price of production. If I decide that I want to fight this COVID war, and I'm going to change the way the economy works, then I'm going to drive up the cost of everything else. So we've got lots and lots of wars, right? You've got a culture war, you've got a war on office work, you've got a war on carbon, you've got a war in the Ukraine. The war in the Ukraine has escalated, right? It's not just a war in the Ukraine. It's really a kind of a quasi-economic war on Russia. So when we actually imported Russian sanctions, we cut the amount of gasoline or the amount of fuel available in energy. We drive up the price of energy. So every single time you actually put a public policy in place, you create inflation. Policy is inflationary. The more policy you have, the more inflation you have.
I think this is going to be one of the key elements that people need to understand. So centralized control, I think, is a core part of the thesis as to why things are breaking. So you have governments coming in top down. This is going to be the way that it is. And I've heard you say, and I would agree with this very much, let's assume that they're coming in with good intentions, but despite their good intentions, they're creating all kinds of problems. There's actually do you know Thomas Sowell?